Hello everyone and welcome to part 6 of my series where I explore the museums that are offered by the Student Art Pass in London. Today the random number generator picked number 66, which was the Museum of Brands. So my professor for my master's course has actually been telling me to go visit this museum for the longest time, and I was so excited that I finally got to go. Because from the moment I walked in I knew I was going to have a good time. So they start off by sending you through the time tunnel. Also there's a souvenir sick bag for the Diamond Jubilee. But you start off with the Victorian section, then the Edwardian section, and the Edwardian section had a really interesting exhibit on World War I as well. Then from the 1920s and the 1930s, you really start to see an emphasis on Hollywood and consumerism together. There was also this super cute little vintage cartoon mouse, and I just wish we could have learned more about him. So then we start from the 1940s, and obviously we have a big emphasis on World War II, and it's interesting to see how brands both advertise their products and efforts to raise funds for the war. In the 1950s, we start to see more of a familial emphasis in branding, but there's also the opposite side of that, which tended to be more of an emphasis on, well, you get the idea. There's also a great deal of royal family advertising as well. Then from the 1960s onwards, we start to see even more growth in consumerism, and one thing I noticed too was that by the 1960s, we start to see more realistic photos being used in advertisements and products, and if you look here, it's Twiggy! Then from the 1970s, we're seeing an even bigger emphasis on lifestyle, fashion magazines, and magazines for entertainment as well, and some 1980s royal wedding merch that has truly aged like a fine wine. And then the 90s, that's my decade. I remember wanting these Hannah Montana dolls so badly. And then the time tunnel ends with some 2010s advertising, and I like seeing the last shelf because, honestly, I recognize basically everything there. I also like this display that showed you how certain brands had evolved over time. And then afterwards, there was a beautiful garden area where I was able to just go sit and relax for a bit, and I even got some writing done. So overall, I had a lovely time, and I couldn't recommend this museum more. So don't forget to like and follow to find out which museum I'll be visiting next time.